I'm Brendan Buckley, and I play drums for Shakira, Daniel Powder, Damien Rice. Well, I'm sitting here behind a DW Classic Series kit. It happens to be one of my favorite drum sets that DW makes. I started playing DW Classic Series drums in 2007 when I was on tour with Damien Rice. When I first started playing with him, he already had a drum set that he was using on tour, but I don't know, we just couldn't get a good sound out of it for some reason, and the production manager and the front house engineer asked me if I wanted to fly my drums out on tour, and I said totally. And I thought, I'd love to get something that sounded good live, was durable, but still had that something that would blend well with his music, acoustic, sort of vintagey, classic. And so I spoke to my friends at DW, and they told me to try this new series. It arrived at a show I was doing in Boston, and I took them right out of the box, put them on stage, and played the concert. I didn't even tune them, and they sounded perfect. And I think that's one of my favorite things about this drum set is they sound great out of the box. They sound great with any drum head you put on them. It's not like these only work with double head, oil filled, or these only work. I think they sound great with everything because I've tried them with everything. I like the sizes that they offer. I like these shallow bass drums. I think that's pretty cool. I like the shell design. The way they're using poplar and mahogany. I don't think a lot of companies use those woods, and it seems like mahogany was a wood that was pretty popular in the 60s, from what I know. And I've grown to like it over the years, and I'm glad they're using it. I happen to have a shell here with me if anyone wants to see it. One thing you'll notice when you look inside is that it's got these reinforcement hoops, but they're kind of thick. You don't see that very often. And I think older drums, maybe older Slingerlands or something, used to do that. And yeah, it's a 3-ply shell with the reinforcement hoop. I like simplicity, and I think they nailed it with this drum set. I like to use the word tubby when I talk about these toms, dum, 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 like that. It's kind of what I like about a lot of vintage kits, is they've been around for a long time. You throw heads on them and they just sound like they're sitting in a nice place. I also like their snare drums right out of the box. These things sound killer. It's I think my favorite DW snare drum that they offer. I've been playing DWs I think since 2000, and they've offered a lot of different models, ranges of drums, starting with their collector series, their famous collector series, and I think it has its own place in the music industry. It's a very, in my opinion, a very modern rock sound. It's a great sound, and I think when they came out with these, it appealed more to people who liked the sound of instruments from the 50s and 60s. They don't have to sound as hi-fi, they don't have to ring as long, they just have to have great tone. So I think a lot of band members, friends of mine, musicians who are all into that same thing, they all like these drums. I think engineers like them because you don't have to mess with the tuning for a long time. You don't have to deaden them with all these, with tape and zero rings and moon gel. I think they just kind of tune well all together. I think because of their bearing edges, they have a natural decay that's pleasing to the ear. They don't go gong like that when you hit them. You just hit them and they go doom, and they just go away in a very kind of perfect length. I'm glad they came out with this line because I think it appeals to a sound that so many drummers were looking for and couldn't really find. I'm Brendan Buckley, and I play DW Classic Series drums.